going to show you how to make the Dove of Peace freebie from Kreative Kiwi, and for that I'm going to be using a 5x4 hoop, 2 layers of wash away stabiliser, a matching bobbin and thread, some masking tape, my squizzers, I've got some cord and a tassel, and my fabric. I'm not using ordinary batting today, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and for that I've got this iron-on glitter that what you do is it's got a sticky protective plastic over the front. You peel that off, you place it on your fabric, put either kitchen paper or cloth over the top, and then you press it onto your fabric, and that, so there's my fabric on the back, and that gives me this lovely glitter effect. And on one of the pieces, whoops, it's a bit sticky because the glitter's sticking to everything. Let me just move this out of the way. On one of my pieces, on the back, I've put some iron-on heat and bond, and that's going to give me a little bit of cushioning and make my little cross a little bit more sturdy. If you've never used heat and bond before, it's got two sides to it. It's got like a fuzzy side and it's got a rough side. And the rough side is the glue. So you place that, let's get this, face down over your fabric, and then you use an iron on in place. And it's as easy as that. Start off by hooping your 2 layers of stabiliser. So place it over your hoop and then place the inner hoop on top. And I like to pin around the edges of mine because it holds the stabiliser nice and taut in the hoop and stops it being pulled inwards. So I take a pin, I lay it on top of the hoop and push it through the stabiliser, and bring it back round and through the stabiliser again, and that sits nice and neatly on there. And you don't need any special pins for this. Anything that's got a head on it will work. Load your file into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 1, and that's going to give you your placement outline. If you're going to be adding a tassel and batting, take your tassel, place it over the outline, and then tape it in place with a little bit of tape. Place your batting over the placement line and tape that in place. You're then going to stitch round number 2. When you've stitched it, you're going to remove the tape afterwards and trim up around the outline to remove all the excess batting, but take care not to cut your tassel off. I'm not adding batting. I'm going to leave my tassel in place, and I'm going to place my fabric with the heat and bond on the back over the outline, and I'm going to tape it in place. I'm now going to stitch round number 3. Somewhere in your machine settings you're going to find what looks like a needle with a plus and minus sign, and you're going to press that, and it's going to bring you into an area where you've got what looks like 2 cotton reels. Now there's a cotton reel with a plus and a cotton reel with a minus here. To skip a colour, you touch the cotton reel with a plus, and to go back a colour or 2 or however many, you go on to press the minus, and it's as easy as that. You might have to look, because all machines are different, but it will be in your machine somewhere. All I can suggest is to refer to the user manual or find a YouTube video for your machine. So I've now skipped to round number 3. Load whichever colour thread you want into your machine for the stitch out of the dove, and then you're going to stitch round number 4. Turn your hoop over, and then you're going to add your backing fabric on the back of the hoop and tape it in place. Now I'm going to put a little bit of tape over my little tassel here just to hold it out of the way so it can't flop over into the way of the stitch path. You're now going to pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 5 to secure it. When you're using any rough surface like glitter, you have to expect a couple of thread breakages because it's pretty hard going on your thread. If that happens, rethread your machine, rethread your bobbin as well, take it out and put it back in. That way you won't have any trouble with it anchoring. Then you're going to go back 10 stitches or so, and you just need to look for the needle symbol on your machine with the plus and a minus, and hit the minus button 10 times, or if you've got a machine that can go back a certain amount of stitches, then do that. So I'm just going to press the minus 10 on my machine, and then I'm going to set it going again. You're now going to trim up the excess fabric from both front and back of your hoop. So turn your hoop over. Put a matching bobbin and thread into your machine if you haven't done so already, and then you're going to stitch the last round, which is round number 6, and that's going to do the satin stitch border all around the edge. I've slowed my machine down a little bit to reduce the friction on my thread, and hopefully that will reduce any breakages. You're now going to free your work from the hoop, so turn it over and cut around the outside, taking care not to cut the stitches, of course. And don't cut off your tassel either. Now all that remains is to take some warm water and a cotton bud, and we're going to get rid of all the excess stabiliser from around the edge. So dip your cotton bud in and just wipe it along the edge. And there it is, my lovely sparkly dove of peace. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as they're published. Do pop along to Kreative Kiwi's Facebook group. There's lots of ideas, help and inspiration there for everybody. And thank you very much for joining me. Please stay safe.